Welcome to Comicstorian and our series Know Your Universe, where we try to turn you into a comic book expert within minutes. And with Jon Kent hitting headlines as the first bisexual Superman, we thought it was time to give you a full rundown of this brand new character that was introduced recently. Superman has had various out-of-continuity children throughout his history with DC Comics. Most of these appear in Elseworlds or alternate universes. Some are merely clones. Those Connors out there don't actually count as sons. So in order to understand how we got to where we are now, you need to understand what the New 52 is. Back in 2011, DC had a great idea of restarting the DC line of books. They called this reboot the New 52, and there was brand new number ones for all of your favorite superheroes across the board. Everyone got a fresh start, a brand new origin, a brand new number one, and a brand new history. Well, except Batman and Green Lantern, but that's a story for another day. It was during this New 52 reboot that some fans were annoyed that much of the character growth that Superman had gained in his, 60, 70 years had been erased. Even if you go back to the last big reboot in the 80s, that's still about 25 years thrown out the window. The marriage to Lois Lane was thrown out, his history was thrown out, and instead we were given a younger, angrier version of Clark Kent. This man wasn't the beacon of hope that we had all come to know. Well, in 2015, fans were introduced to an actual son of Kal-El, Jonathan Kent. The character was created by Dan Jurgens and made his first appearance in Convergence number 2. You see, in this event, we learned that Brainiac had trapped various versions of the pre-New 52 timeline, including a Gotham City from post-Crisis that had Lois and Clark. So the Superman that everyone wanted, the Superman that had been erased from history in 2011, was brought back into continuity. And since Brainiac had the ability to suppress everyone's powers, Clark and Lois were living a normal life, and they were able to conceive and give birth to Jonathan Kent. After the Convergence event, Lois, Clark, and Jon would then find themselves in the New 52. You see, everyone loved the idea of pre-crisis Superman being around and him having a son, so for a time, the Kent family lived quietly. They were aware of the events around them, but Superman chose to stay out of it, literally stating that this world had a Superman, so he would not be needed. He chose to live in the shadows and just kind of push things along as a vigilante, kind of closer to Batman actually, quickly, quietly. And it was after the death of New 52 Superman that he once again stepped into the spotlight. It was at that moment that comic book writers would give Jon powers, and after teaming up with his father in a fight against the Eradicator, he would be introduced to the Justice League as the new Superboy, one of the few times he was actually referenced as Superboy. Jon would then become kidnapped by Mr. Mxyzptlk, an imp from another dimension who has immeasurable power, and this forced his parents to go and search for him. It was then that the DC Rebirth version of Superman was combined with the New 52 version, and the history of reality was rewritten. You see, what they decided to do was, since everyone loved this pre-New 52 version of Superman so much more than their new, younger, edgier version, they would basically merge the two of them, turning him into a pre-crisis version of Superman, but he knew everything that had happened, so he was the Superman. It's very confusing, I know, and I'm trying to explain it in the easiest way possible. But basically, pre-crisis Superman was back, and we just ignored the fact that everything restarted in 2011. The new origin for Jonathan Kent in this new rewritten world was that Jon was conceived after Superman fought Doomsday. The family then moved for a short time after Jon was born, until they then returned to their normal lives. So now at this point in DC's continuity, Superman is back to normal, and Jonathan Kent is officially his son and working with the rest of the DC universe. So for a time, Jon teamed up with Damian Wayne, and the two became known as the Super Sons, a fan-favorite group within DC comic books. Although Damian was not a fan of Jon's upbeat attitude, the two became close friends and had several adventures. Eventually, the family is visited by Jor-El. Yes, Superman's father is alive in this timeline. He offers to take Jon with him to show him the universe, and so Jon goes, but the two get sucked into a black hole and Jon is dropped onto Earth 3. He's captured and imprisoned by Ultraman, the evil version of his father. He then escapes and makes his way back to his own Earth, only to discover that only a few weeks have passed, even though he himself has aged years. This now older Jonathan Kent, about the age of 16 to 17, would then go on to become a member of the Legion of Superheroes as well. In this timeline, he is the one who begins the United Planets and is approached by the time-traveling Legionnaires to join them in the 31st century. During the Future's State event, fans were given a glimpse into a possible future of the DC Universe. And in this future, Jonathan Kent has taken up the role of Superman while his father left Earth for various reasons. However, Jon isn't seen as the best version of Superman by both the people of Metropolis and his own cousin, Supergirl, who constantly questions his every move. We're also shown a glimpse of Jon acting as Superman for a few even farther future versions of the Justice League. After the Future State event, several books begin to head into this new status quo, with Jon officially debuting as Superman in the book Superman, Son of Kal-El #1, which debuted in July of 2021. Written by Tom Taylor, this series is showing Jon trying to become a better Superman than his father, using his unique view of the world to deal with issues that his father never did. The general idea is that Superman came to Earth and has always been a son of two worlds, basically being an alien of Earth, but not trying to be too involved in Earth, as Jon sees himself fully being able to affect and help Earth in general, with everything from villains to climate change. Jon shares all of the same powers as his father, though due to his hybrid biology, his powers are unstable at times. Batman has theorized that due to this, Jon could prove to be more powerful than his father. And now the elephant in the room. The Tom Taylor book is officially only up to issue 3 or 4 at the time of recording this. At issue 5, it was announced by DC that Jonathan Kent would come out as bi. And we've already seen future issues where he's going to be standing on protest lines and standing against climate change and immigration and things like that. The new Superman is dealing with real-world problems at the moment, and while some people are not a fan of this particular take on the Son of Kal-El, the Superman that we all do know from pre-Crisis is still out there and in his own book. And there you have it, the history of the new Superman, the Son of Kal-El. I actually can't believe we've never officially done a Know Your Universe on this character. I've been a fan of the Super Sons since forever ago, and I kind of fell off reading what was going on with Jon ever since he was aged up. I prefer that younger-aged Jon hanging out with the younger-aged Damian. But I'm also an advocate for superheroes growing up and aging and then getting a new superhero in the role. So that's what's happening with Jonathan, and I really can't be against it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments down below other things you want us to cover and explain better right here on the Comicstorian channel. And don't forget to hit that bell, turn on notifications, because if you have them on, you'll know when we put out our videos. We put out 2 to 5 comic book themed videos on a weekly basis, and would love to have you join the Comicstorian army. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time right here.